Somebody's in trouble.
Now, we also have video of a group of Republican senators confronting Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle on the RNC floor last night. She was at the event to meet with Secret Service agents on the ground. Now, these senators demanded that Cheadle explain the security breakdown and why the Secret Service would have allowed President Trump to even take the stage.
Like those earrings she's wearing. And I never really noticed chicks' earrings. I like that. And gold chains interlocked. I like that. Like your style, girl. Oh!
An explanation. Why will anyone allow the president to go on stage when you know you've got a potential threat and you've got snipers that are trained? So I don't think that there's a
you hung up on it. We're here. You cut up and you
They called and she hung up on him. Oh, so it's like, okay, so if this isn't the forum to have this discussion, what is? Because when we called you, you hung up on us. Uh-oh. Let me just say, this hospitality suite is actually... We'll leave with you. Wait a minute. Yeah, we'll be happy to go somewhere with you and talk. Hey, let's get a bite to eat together.
No, we're going with you.
Oh, they are on her. Ooh.
That is
wow.
The video. Now, last hour, Harris, you had the chance to speak with Senator Blackburn, who we just saw on that video, and she explained what Cheadle should have done instead of walking away. Let's take a listen.
I would have set up a time to speak with him. You know, sometimes, who knows? Maybe when they call, I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt. Who knows? Maybe they were irate and emotional when they called her up, and maybe they was talking a little too savage on the phone. And she's like, I will not be spoken to like this. I would have tried to set up a time to speak with them, an appointment. That's what I would have done.
What she should have done is step aside with us and provide some answers to questions that we had. Who made that decision? Why did they make that decision? Where was the lapse in protocol? But her priority was not about providing those answers. Her priority was about those, what she termed her partners, and having a nice evening.
And then Senator Barrasso had said last night, she hung up on them. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
More than hung up on them. She said that she wasn't in charge of the call and somehow it got hung up. That's what she told Senator Marsha Blackburn. So that was an exclusive first interview with Blackburn. She was the one seen in heels chasing after the people who were with Kimberly Cheadle, trying to get them to slow down because she suddenly realized how long she had been at the venue, and that when they made that call, it was a lie by omission that they didn't mention, we're in the building, we could have talked with you in person, instead of hanging up on you. I mean, the whole thing is a game, and I don't understand how the United States...
And I am the game.
State Secret Service Director is allowed to play it. But here's the thing. They had at least 7 minutes to make the decision, maybe longer, to not put the president up on that stage. He didn't have to go on the dais. They needed to put him in a secure area or vehicle and make sure he was away from the threat. And think about the Americans who had gone to that venue. What Senator Blackburn was saying, what about all those other people? Like, you should have been moving them out of the way, too. Because once the shots rang out, it wasn't just that they were holding solidarity with the president. They were pinned into their position. There is a young man who our digital has talked to, Fox Digital, Pennsylvania GOP activist, who's been to 20 Trump rallies, who says the Butler, PA event was the least secure venue he's been to. He said he sat 3 rows behind Trump near murdered firefighter Corey Comparatori. They were pinned in. It was difficult. Of course, Corey had to shield his family. The more detail we find out, the more we realize that Kimberly Cheadle, Senator Blackburn wants her fired. But before they get rid of her, they better get the story so they can fix what's broken in the Secret Service.
And again, that fundamental question, Kaylee, why was President Trump allowed to go on stage?
It's a big question, and it's one that I hope we get answers to. But the question is, will we get answers? The information flow here is astounding. Elena Train, just in the last few minutes, is reporting that Donald Trump got a briefing at his hotel room from Secret Service on Tuesday. And when you read what she says, he was given, quote, bits and pieces of information. Now, look, I know you're gathering information. This man had an assassination attempt on his life. A bullet flew past his ear, and he is only receiving bits and pieces of information. And
a bullet hit his ear.
Congress is receiving virtually no information, and we, the American public, have zilch because you won't do an on-camera briefing and you pledge that you are engaged in transparency. That is egregious. Kimberly Cheadle needs to step down. Senator Barrasso, who is a measured senator, said this: resignation or full explanation right now. And that is what every member of the American public should be echoing.
And Guy, information hoarding, which is rampant throughout the federal government, especially in this administration, is a sign of either toxicity, of absolute dysfunction, or of a refusal to release information that reflects negatively on that bureaucracy. Take your pick which one this is.
Well, this is worse than information hoarding. There's also been lying. Right, so Director Cheadle came out and tried to blame this on the locals. We just heard the clip from the gentleman representing the locals saying that's not true. We were assigned to traffic duty and nothing else. So that appears to be lie number one. The sloped roof lie was so risible, so insulting that even total non-experts like...
Did you say risible? I've never heard that word before.
So risible, so insulting that even total non-experts like myself could say, well, that doesn't make any sense. There's people on sloped roofs all the time, including those snipers right there in the footage that we've all seen. What are you talking about? So it's not like they are hoarding all this information and then not giving it to us. They have led with actual misinformation from the very top of that agency, which is why I think people are rightly infuriated with this director. I can't imagine how she could survive this. She shouldn't. We need to know absolutely everything. And I think what we just heard from Harris is right. It seems like every passing hour when we learn something new, it makes the story worse. This should have been stopped at multiple junctures, and it never was. And it is astounding and I think enraging to people independent of political views.
She's in good shape. She looked like Wonder Woman. Up there, top left. What's her name? Don't tell Scarlett I said that. Gotta do research. That's all.
And Marie Harf, as former spokesperson for the State Department, we now have, on the heels of this, verifiable threats from Iran against the former president's life, in addition to other former officials within his administration. So what does this utter failure and ineptitude signal to the foreign powers that are looking at this with potentially glee?
We know the threats are getting worse. We have heard from the FBI director, we've heard from national security officials that there are more threats against American leaders and against the American people in general than there have been in a long time. There are very few things that this whole panel ever agrees on, but this is one of them. The fact that we do not have answers yet. The Secret Service, this is the most egregious and awful in a long line of mistakes by the Secret Service over many years, doing things overseas that were dangerous, that put their protectees at risk, behaving in ways that put people at risk. And now this. There's reporting that the Secret Service director will come before Congress on Monday to the House Oversight Committee. Now there's some reporting that may not be happening. She needs to. And I agree with Guy and others on this panel. I do not see how she survives this. I would be shocked if she does, but we need answers, all of us.
And the person that didn't survive was named Corey Comparatori. Retired firefighter, father, husband. So much more to come.
I'm Steve Ducey. I'm Brett.
Wow. Jeez, man. Yeah, we need some answers. We need some answers on that. Because things seem very lackadaisical. Post comments down below. Let me know what you all think. If you enjoyed my thoughts on this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo!